Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to More Than Peachy's Gaming. I'm your host, Moonay. So, after a very, very long trek in our grand Permadeath mode, took us about 18 hours from beginning to this point. I am doing extra steps at this point, just a heads up for you, my audience, to make this a little bit easier on everybody else. So there are technically 3 ways to make it easily to the center. Okay? The way that I took, which I do not recommend, is just power throwing it. That is stocking up on warp cells and just going for it. Okay? A second way, which I do sometimes recommend and other times not, it just depends on where you end up, is activating a portal and just going through it without knowing where you're going whatsoever to try to reach the center as quickly as possible. Alright? So, the third way is the way that we're going to be demonstrating today, which is just taking a method. Wow. Okay, it's very loud. So I don't know what this creature is or what it does. It eats rocks. Okay. Making sure it wasn't a carnivore. Okay. So, which is coming through a portal, which I will activate here. It doesn't require a whole lot of stuff, so I'm just going to power it up. I have enough crap for this. We're going to use condensed carbon because I have a lot of it. Dihydrogen. Once you have done all of these, you'll be able to access the portal. And I will be able to get the address for this portal. So I'm not going to activate it any further than this. I'm just going to request the planet's address. Okay, so as you can see, this is the planet's address. It's a nice little take. Make sure you take it in if you're planning on traveling here with this. I'm going to leave it up here for a moment, and I'm just going to talk for a moment. You can put in the address to get here. So this is the second best way to get here. The best way, at least in my opinion, is joining a friend. Okay? Since we have Next, you can join a friend who is currently in this system. And if you join them while they're in this system, you can, get this, when you go back to your own game, come to this system. Now, how do you do that? Well, you have to visit the space station here. Okay? Luckily, there's a space station in this system, and you can just warp to it. I tried this with one of my friend's games, and I was able to warp to his system thereafter. So, this is a great way to make a great shortcut to the center. And if you're wanting to do this, you just have to find somebody who's already made it here. Okay? The good thing about this planet and this system, I know this isn't the only planet in the system, but it is the closest to the space station when I arrived, is that the Sentinels are normal. Not aggressive, not frenzied, not threatening or hostile. They're regular Sentinels. The weather is kind of cold, so just be prepared for that if you decide to go planet side. Aside from that, though, to get from this point, meaning from the space area of this area of this system is that you need to make sure that you have enough juice in your spacecraft, meaning that you have it fully charged to make the jump to the center. If you do not have a full charge, it won't let you go to the center. Okay? Even in my ship, I could not do it. So I had to charge it all the way. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about doing that. Another thing to make mention, if you don't think you have a good enough ship, or you think, oh yeah, I need to get a better ship, there are trade posts on this planet, so you can go and do that. And all I did was I came down to the portal. You know, I went over to the trade post, grabbed a Viking dagger, looked for an artifact, found the monolith, had the monolith direct me to the portal. So this is good. So this is kind of a big deal. I don't remember if anybody has mentioned that if portals were pre-next, but this is definitely in the next situation. We are currently in 1.57 for the version, so you should be able to make it here. Just a heads up that if you come through the portal, you have to go to the space station, and then you need to come back down here, okay? And you go back through the portal. You have to turn off the portal on the planet that you came from, go to your own space station, and warp to the space station here. Because if you come over here through the portal and jump in your ship and you try to warp, it's not going to work because there's portal interference. The portal has to be turned off, and you cannot turn it off from this side. So just a heads up, that is a quick way to do it. I know there are some other ways that people have said, oh yeah, I can just build a base on this side and build a portal. This is so much easier, way more cost effective of just going up to the space station, registering it as one of the places that you can go, and then coming back to it, okay? Through your own space station. It requires you to come in, go to the space station, come back down, go back through the portal, turn off the portal, go back up to your space station. You have to remember to turn off your own damn portal. And if you're in multiplayer, when you do this, you might not be able to turn off your portal. So you might have to return to your own game to be able to warp to this system. So just a heads up, that is a big deal, okay? I, for one, am going to be here probably for a little bit. I don't know how soon I'm going to actually go to the center. I think maybe later today I will, which today is Thursday, August, I think 23rd, so, of 2018. So definitely a strange way to go about this, but I wanted to make sure I unlocked this and it's all ready to go. Which is really funny is I could pop in any address that I wanted right now, and I could go wherever. But the thing is, on Permadeath, I don't have any glyphs. I didn't bother getting any. So this thing does me absolutely no good. Like if I tried to go over here and be like, oh yeah, I'll type something in. It says activate portal. Yeah, I can totally activate the portal, but let's see. I'll totally activate this. Oh, I have one glyph. Okay. So I'm not going to activate it, so I'm just going to leave. So it doesn't do anything. Again, you definitely want to make sure that you don't have portal interference. So if you do go somewhere, remember to turn it off. Okay? It is kind of a nice thing to have, but just be aware that not everybody's going to want to travel this way here. But if you're, if you're with a friend who's willing to make the trek through the portal, you could definitely double up, and you could just join their game, and you'll automatically be put in the system. So what you need to do is, if you're going to do that, like bring your friend in, make sure that you go up to the space station and have your friend spawn in at the space station. So me, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to restore some stuff before I decide to move on at all in the story. I'm probably going to go back up to the space station because why not? But just a heads up, that was the address Alright? Thank you so much for watching, and next time when I do a video, it'll be me going to the center of the universe, or sorry, center of the galaxy, in Permadeath. It's been a long trek, and as you can kind of see, over 18 hours. So be prepared for a long trek if you're going to do it the long way. But this is really the way that you should do it, is the ways that I mentioned. All right. Thank you so much, and hopefully you found this video useful.